Christian week, Hindu week, stuff like that. There was once a debate where these three religions were debating against each other. It was at this debate, at the set time being the Amir or the leader of the Hindu committee that was exposed to what real Christianity is and what real Islam is. Or rather, what I learned from that is what really and truly Hinduism was, the thing which I believed. You see, here we speak English language because you're brought up in an English country, like I said to you, and so English is your language. You didn't choose to be English. You didn't choose to make English your language. I was brought up in a Hindu home. I didn't choose to be a Hindu. Many Christians are brought up in Christian homes. They didn't choose to be Christians. But we were brought up dogmatically to accept this, and this is what I did. And I was arrogant in the way I professed Hinduism, and think that this is the haqq. This is the only haqq there is, the only truth there could ever be. Because this is what you're taught, and everybody believes this. But seldom do we go back to our books. And this is what happened to me in those debates. When brothers, the Christians and the Muslims attacked me from every angle, I realized there and then that I had been a blind follower of my religion. I only know rituals that was taught to me from my parents, and it was handed down from ages before. Just handed down. Even though the books are there, it's getting dust in the house. They're the Bhagavad Gita, the Ramayana, and all the rest of the books. But we don't really read them much. Even though I did a little browsing through for the sake of the debate. Just to quote the thing that I want to quote from the text to support what I believe in. But I never critically analyzed it. At these debates, when these things were said to me, things offensive about Islam, about the faith that I believed in, Hinduism then, idolatry, that is, the worship of many gods, shirk, and all of these funny things. When the brothers were saying to me, how can you worship so many gods? And I was saying, are you crazy? Why not? This was the attitude. This is the attitude of a Hindu. That's why it's difficult for you to get to a Hindu. The thing we call shirk, the thing which we attack, we attack everyone about, they make fools of us. And they say to you, why not? And this is the thing, because you've been brought up to believe this. However, after that debate, I decided it was time to really study the books of Hinduism. I spent the next year and a half, almost 2 years, studying the Hinduism from their texts. I read everything there was to be read in English language. I couldn't read any other language. I was satisfied that what I was reading was authentic according to their belief, because everybody testified that these are the authentic books of the Hindus. And among the discrepancies and contradictions and paganism and Nancy stories, as we say back home, that was contained in this was atrocious. I could not believe that in the 20th century, a university student, a college student at the time, would be believing such a thing. I didn't know that these are things I believed in anyway. Just to mention one of the points of the things that really was turning off. One of the major beliefs of Hinduism is the belief in a god called Rama. Rama is their major god, one of their major gods. The story of Rama goes that he was banished in exile. Try to trace the story. Him and his brother and his wife. One day the demon, in according to the Hindu language, is called Ravan. This is supposed to be like the big shaitan as we know him. He wanted to get the wife of Rama. So he took one of his so-called followers, this is according to their texts, and he made him into a nice, beautiful deer. And the deer went by the home of Rama, and his wife saw this deer. And she said she wanted the deer. So Rama, he sensed there was something wrong. Remember, Rama is their god. The Hindus believe that gods are they reincarnate, and they come at different times. Alright? And they believe Rama was the incarnation of God at the time on the face of the earth. Same thing like Christianity somewhat. Our brother will talk about that, inshallah. This Hindu god, Rama, is the supreme and divine God in the incarnation. He went after the deer, but he realized and sensed that something was wrong. He drew 3 lines at the door of his hut. And he said to his wife, do not cross these lines no matter what. And he went off to chase the deer with his arrow and bow to shoot it. As he went, this saint came, a person dressed as a saint and a sage, a hermit, in the famous Hindu tales. And he comes and he begs water of Rama's wife. Her name was Sita. And she says, I cannot, she go get the water, she go to give it to him. And he stepped away from the lines. And she put it down on the ground, and he wouldn't take it. He said, that's an insult to give a saint water like that, you have to give it in my hands. And he enticed her until she finally overstepped the last line. And when she did that, the spell of whatever there was on those lines were broken, because she now was out of the protection of the lines. And he took her when he rode off in his chariot to his kingdom, wherever that was. That was supposed to be in Sri Lanka, according to the Hindu myth. Right? This is in their books, this is what they believe. Right? Rama chased after the deer, finally caught the deer, he shot the deer. and the deer turned out to be a demon. When they shot it now, it took on the real form of what it was. The spirit, it was a demon, right? A shaitan, as we know today. And he went back home, he ran back home. When he went home, his wife was gone. He saw the footsteps and everything, he knew what had happened. He went around, this is God, being deceived. We come back into what happened. We have to examine the story. Alright? He went now trying to find his wife, he can't find his wife. He wandered around, he found this monkey god, this monkey man they call Hanuman. Right? He's a monkey, he's literally a monkey. Right? And then he asked this guy, he said, I'm looking for my wife. Now this Hanuman was a guy who knew about Ram as his god and used to make devotion to him. Right? He used to make devotion to him, and he was making devotion, and one morning he was making like ablution when Ram came to him, and he said to him that I've been looking for my wife so and so. And he said yes, and he brought up some stuff. He said that while he was making ablution, this cloth fall down, and it was jewels. Apparently Sita, when the god took her off, she threw away some jewels and stuff like that, and he said, these are my wives. So Ram, this Hanuman god now, this Hanuman guy, he's not a god, he was just a devotee. He got all together his whole tribe to go and help this god now, to go to Sri Lanka, to retrieve the wife of the god now. On the way, when they reached the end of India, they know this water, Sri Lanka is an island. They can't go over. This water is the edge. They didn't know it was going to be water there anyway in the first place. You know, the god didn't know that. So, when they got there, he said, the god says, how are we going to cross this? And Hanuman, the monkey guy, suggested, we should build a bridge. He said, build a bridge, this is an ocean. At least he was smart enough to see that. So he took a rock and he threw it over. He threw it over, right? And the rock went down. And he said, we'll never be able to pull this up. And the monkey guy said, I have faith that it can happen. And he took a next stone and he wrote the name Rama, Lord Rama, on the rock and threw it, and it floated. And so the faith of the devotee was more stronger than the power of the god. Right? And that's what he did, right? And they built this bridge and they went to Sri Lanka. And they fought the devil and his army. And ironically, the god could not kill this devil. This devil has 9 heads, this Ravan. Every time he shot one of the head off with his arrow, the head would come on back. But because there was a brother, when this Ravan guy heard that this Rama guy was going to come to fight him to get his wife back, he sent for his brother. Now this brother was supposed to sleep six months of the year and wake for 6 months of the year. However, this 6 months was the time when he was sleeping. So he was very, very annoyed that his brother was waking him up to go fight a war. This guy was angry, so he went and he told the Rama guy that you can't shoot a guy in the head. You won't kill him. This is his brother who exposed the secret of the devil now. You have to shoot in his belly button, his navel. Which he did, and then the Ravan died. He took his wife home, then he said, I won't have anything to do with you, because you were touched, you were interfered with by this devil guy, this Ravan, the big shaitan. He's like we know as Iblis. And after so many monkey guys were dead, you know, the whole cow, the whole tribe of the monkey people died in this battle. And then Ravan says to his wife, I don't want you because you were touched by this guy. And she swore to him, I was never touched. He never touched me. He never had a chance. And the story ends when she says, if you won't take me, then I will pray to, I don't know to whom, he's the God. And she prayed, right? And she prayed, and then the earth opened, and she went down. That's the end of the story. But if you retract from the story, it's not difficult to see. This God is exiled. God exiled. Now this is Rama whom they pray to. He carries an iron bow. Hindus not supposed to eat meat. These are some of the controversies and contradictions. It's very simple. I don't have to explain them too much. He carries an iron bow. What do they do with iron bow? You don't hunt fruits with iron bow. You know, stuff like that. And this is documented in their books. He's deceived by the devil. The devil makes a demon, a deer out of the demon, makes a deer. And he runs after a deer, not knowing it's a devil. I can't understand what kind of a God it is. His wife gets snatched away. He can't even find his wife. A monkey guy finds his wife. Alright? This is what happened. This is the reality of it. This is in their book, and they believe it. And they tell the story at every sitting in religion and every gathering. They have this thing called yags, I don't know the proper word for it, where they have big gatherings and they do these things. And they say these stories all the time. And they believe it and they worship these guys. These people are also like the Christians. This monkey guy was a devotee. Today they worship the Hanuman guy. Because he's supposed to be strong. Because they helped the God to retrieve his wife. And the story goes on, contradictions upon contradictions. But you can see them all as it went, you know. He couldn't get his wife. A monkey guy finds his wife. He gets his wife. He couldn't kill the devil. This God couldn't kill the devil. The devil's brother had to tell him you have to shoot him in the navel. And stuff like that. When he got